Namaste, angels. I'm here to do the weekly love reading. I feel totally surrounded by love. Yet I'm alone right now. Completely alone in my bedroom making this recording. I was at Tavern on the Green in Central Park in here in New York earlier, and there was a woman performing live, singing live. And for one thing, she was singing Louis Armstrong's "It's a Wonderful World," and that just put me in like such a beautiful mood. And being in the park early in the morning, the birds, the children playing, the happy couples walking, the people exercising, people living life excited today. And I feel good. And on top of that, today is the feast day of Our Lady of Mount Carmel. So it's another celebration of Mary, the mother of Jesus. It's also a day on which Our Lady of Agati, which was last week, 7/9, is re-celebrated by some people, particularly in Chile, where they are currently having a snowstorm. It is winter in South America, but this is still rare for them, the kind of snowstorm they're undergoing. So that's interesting. I right away, of course, I thought about Mary's other vibration as the Queenofswords, ice cream, Venus, and all that. So, Venus is visiting Chile. What else is going on? Well, again, this reading begins today, 7/16. It goes through Saturday, 7/22, which is the feast day of Mary Magdalene. So we're like bookend, so to speak, with us in the middle, hopefully happy all week, surrounded by love, the love of Jesus' mother and the love of his woman at the other end. I think it's a special week. What else may affect us this week in the area of love? Well, the following day after the last day of this reading is the new moon. So, of course, that can, we may begin to feel that. Some of us Thursday the 20th, Friday the 21st. Doesn't necessarily mean anything that it's all the way on the 23rd. And the 24th, we have the month of Av, the month of Father beginning. And in the Jewish calendar, the Jewish tradition, this month, Tammuz and Av, do sort of run together because it's a whole period of mourning the destruction of the temples, mourning the destruction of the tablets, the commandments, and then moving into redemption. So we have that going on too. From an astrological standpoint, we have, we still have Venus in Gemini. We have Mercury. I believe it may have left Leo because Mars entered Leo this week, or enters Leo this week. Oh yeah, okay, so Mercury's in Leo right now. Mars enters Leo on the 20th of this month, so this week. The Sun enters Leo on the 22nd, right? We leave the sun sign of Cancer and move into Leo. And again, the day after is the new moon. What else? Chiron, the wounded healer, still in Pisces, retrograde in Pisces, will be for some time, the next several months now. So it's like the wounded healer. This Chiron was able to heal, the way the story goes, as far as the being here on Earth, as opposed to the comet. He was able to heal everybody but himself. Which, how often do we feel like that, right? We're different healers of different types. And from my perspective, I don't know what you guys feel, but yes, I believe that all light workers are meant to be healers, but I don't believe that means the kind of healers where you lay hands on people. Although that is the kind that I'm talking about now with Chiron. But I think that, musicians are healers and artists, visual artists are healers, and people who build homes, construction workers, to me, they're healers. And there's healing in everything that we do. So when you're meant to be a healer, it doesn't mean that you have to all of a sudden, that you're predisposed to laying hands on someone and they're going to feel better. Because if that's not your gift and you go around doing that, well, that's a shame. So anyway, Chiron, he was able to lay hands on others, but not himself. And so that's why he's considered the wounded healer. But he's in Pisces, which is a very healing energy, it can be, right? And Pisceans, one of the most psychic signs of the zodiac. So we have that going. What else? Ooh, also we have Black Moon Lilith in Sagittarius, and we have, since that sort of tumultuous, at times at least, retrograde season, where we had like 5 planets in retrograde at the same time, back in February. She left Scorpio and entered Sagittarius on February 14th on Valentine's Day. So some of you that were used to spending Valentine's Day with Bae, that all of a sudden didn't this year, it might be because of that. I'm finding more and more that people are being affected by that energy now, maybe particularly Sagittarians. So be mindful of that too, especially since we have a black moon approaching next month. And I guess that may be it. Let's get to the dice. So I'm going to start with spin money. Yeah, spin money. I had it upside down. It's 50-50. And dirty movie. Spirit says email. Weekend away. And continue to spend money. I'm going to do our cross this week with the hashtag creepy deck. I, kept changing the decks that I pulled out. I was guided to use actual tarot cards, and I do have love-related tarot cards. This is my Lover's Path Tarot for the spread, as opposed to like the Romance Angel Oracle. But then I was like about to get started, and I said, oh, but what if Mary wants to come back? So I went and got my Keepers of Light Oracle. We're going to do it like this. I'm going to start with this hashtag creepy deck, beginning with the energy of gifts. Maybe for some birthdays, for the remaining Cancer birthdays, or maybe in preparation for some of the Leo birthdays, we're buying gifts. Opening to mature man, which can certainly be Mars, in my opinion. That was my first thought. This mature man could be representing the energy of Mars, which again enters Leo this week. Gifts. And children. Children a factor this week. Maybe it's they, in some cases, who are having birthdays or something, are children. And so we're buying gifts. Control in reverse. Gifts, and one more. It's that mature man upside down now. Maybe we're not allowing him to get the best of us. Even though that Mars energy, particularly in Leo, I would say can come across aggressive. Our overall energy is triangle. Now there are no reversals in this deck, so I'm going to turn it upside down. I'm going to turn the right side up. But I wanted to show you that it did end up upside down in my hand. So triangle, that's the overall energy. To herself this week, as it relates to love and the union. Destiny. So she's going to remain on path. I'm so glad we're going to refocus, because last week a bunch of us started to fall off toward the end. I mean, made comebacks, but just in some conversations that I had, there was quite a few, I've had enough of this. I think I'm going to give up, sort of thing. Nope, persevere. 9 of Wands. It's our destiny. Okay? The masculine with relation to the feminine. As the union is regarded, open relationship. So this is still wanting to be a relationship out in the open. Perhaps not necessarily clear on how to achieve that yet, but a desire. With relation to himself. Dating queen. Oh, excuse me. He's got a lot of suitors. He's got a lot of suitors this week. You see there's one hand here with the flowers, one here. Somebody wants to hand a gift here. Maybe this some particular meaning for those masculine that are having a birthday this week, especially since birthday popped right up into my head. Maybe they getting particular amount of attention, but it looks like the masculine in general very popular, let's say, this week. And the union, communication. I'm so happy to see this because guess what was in the general reading from the masculine that he wanted to communicate. Mercury, the planet Mercury came through. I was using my Keepers of the Light oracle. Overall, true love. How beautiful is that? And the outcome, past life, dealing with past life issues. So this, and I think this may have been the overall last week too, it sort of encompasses everything because past life can have to do with this, right? All the attention that he's getting and being a dating queen. You know, this could be karmic stuff that has to be resolved, contracts with people he has to complete. Still doesn't change the fact that he's thinking about this, wanting an open relationship and wanting to communicate, you know, wanting to keep the union live because it's true love. So past life encompassing all of that. What would he have the feminine do this week toward all of this in the union? True gem. This is about recognizing her place in his life. Not only true love, but you know, this is how much, you know, this is how valuable, how very dear she is to him. So like, don't forget that even if he's being dating queen, like you know where his heart is. And actually, the other day, I was minding my own business, and then all of a sudden I started singing that song by Keyshia with Missy, Elliott, I Don't Want Your Man, but I got it like that, right? And it has to do with this. It's like, the song goes like, it's not where he is, it's where he wants to be. So we're gonna like disregard, you know, first of all, we may be one of these suitors and he may be hooking up with us since this is where his mind is. But even if even in cases where we're not, or we, you know, turn out not to be, like the song goes, it's not where he is, it's where he wants to be. That's here with the true gem, who is the true love. And what is he willing to do or, you know, sacrifice toward this situation this week? Karma. So in some cases, as I was saying before, he's got some karmic, and see how it crosses the dating queen? He's got some karmic issues to resolve. And like, you know, we can't get in the way of that. He can't even do anything about it. This is of the universe. That's what karma means. Can have a lot to do with the planet Jupiter, maybe, you know, that's controlling this situation. And it's just something that we have to allow to run its course. Keeping this in mind, this may be very well why he wants you to be focused on this and keep this in mind. Don't let any of this make you forget this is what's true, right? Only love is true. Only love is real. What would the universe have us both to do and or surrender toward this situation this week? Turn this one up right side up, and it is dark male. Very, very interesting. It's a little weird for me in this placement, but it's telling us both about the significance of or who we might consider in our lives to be the dark male, maybe an actual dark male, or again, who this represents for us, to know that they are going to be particularly influential and or impactful upon the union in the situation this week. For me, personally, my masculine is a dark male himself, so that could mean something particularly impactful upon you and or the union as a whole, good, bad, or indifferent. So just keep the other stuff in mind. I like this spread. I'm going to go on to our next one, though. I like it being crowned by true love. I like the feminine getting the true gem. I like the communication. Keep all that up. So again, I'm beginning, and right away I thought about, I'm cutting myself off, because right away I thought about, with this Two of Arrows, decision, and that masculine, that dating queen. So some of them may be in a position of choosing. You know, everybody's on the, like, you know, many of us are on different parts of the path, different places in our journey. Some people are just, you know, getting to discover who exactly, you know, if anyone is a divine partner assigned to them. Maybe a decision has to be made. Some of us, a little further along the line, we got a decision too. You know, maybe we're hooked up with somebody. Maybe in some cases we're married. There's a lot of people, a lot of light workers, and people meant for divine unions that are otherwise unavailable. And that's actually part of it. There's usually at least one major roadblock to a divine union. So that may be the decision. And this decision here, we have what looks to be Cupid over Psyche. So that may have been when he was deciding whether or not to, you know, forgive her and get back together with her. But some of us have a decision to make this week. I'm beginning with the Two of Arrows upright, and opening to Paolo and Francesca with Temptation. This is the devil in the traditional tarot, and this can represent, yeah, exactly that, temptation. All the stuff that, you know, some of the stuff that's good to us, but not necessarily good for us. You know, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Things that we otherwise had said we were going to leave alone. Maybe opposite this, maybe some people we'd said we otherwise were going to leave alone. Can include the divine partner, may be the other person, and you know, there's a temptation here as to what to do. The devil, traditionally also about feeling trapped and or bound to someplace, something, someone. Two of Arrows back, and opening to the Eight of Arrows in reverse, which would be the opposite of that feeling bound. This is like coming out of that energy. So getting back to the devil, I really felt at the time that it has to do more so with temptation, not with being bound, and this would support that, the Eight of Arrows in reverse, because upright, it's a very similar type of card. This is a feeling of being trapped, whereas you're not really. This woman could easily get up and walk right out of these arrows, but she's there with her head down, feeling stuck. With it upside down, you know, these arrows fall away, and, you know, she's trapped no more. Two of Arrows, I'll go one more, and it is Contemplation. Abelard and Eloise, an earth sign, may be particularly impactful upon some of us too, because the Capricorn just now with the devil, and now Virgo. Abelard was basically like a priest, a monk. So he wasn't supposed to fall in love. That was his major stumbling block, and he did anyway. And then he lived his life for him. He wrote a book about how he fell in love with a woman and had to, you know, give it all up and do what made his heart beat, you know, what made him feel alive inside. Like how I was saying, I felt alive, you know, being in the park and things earlier. He had to do what made him feel alive. So he incorporated a woman into his life, regardless of the fact that he was a monk or a priest or whatever he was. And he is now here in reverse, indicating that, because there are reversals in this deck, indicating that, you know, he's done the introspection and things that he needs to do to overall energy is the Queen of Coins in reverse, which can indicate that we're not happy at home, for one thing. We can be overly focused on the material, for another thing. And, yeah, those are the two things that I'm feeling. It's one of those two. It's a feeling of being stuck based on what we feel is lack of funds and or material wealth. It indicates a need to get grounded too, and that may be why all of that earth was popping up. That could be another reason why that was showing up. Also, the issue of getting grounded turned up in the general reading with Gaia. She said, like, come back to earth and, root yourself again. So I think that's coming through here to the love reading too. Now I'm feeling it also may mean to work on the root chakra or base chakra. It sort of governs everything, but it's like our spine, and well, of course that governs everything. Legs, like our feet, being rooted, being planted firmly on a solid foundation. We sort of can't be that if the root chakra is blocked, and that again segue back into being unhappy at home, like our foundation isn't solid. Maybe we need to move, maybe it's with whom we live or where we live. That could be some of our decisions, and it would relate to love, how it related, maybe a decision whether or not to move in together. We're unhappy living apart, and we want to move in together, but we got to go through the pros and cons or whatever that involves. Okay, masculine. Speaking of home and wanting to be happy, peace, contentment, and abundance, all that kind of stuff. It's the Four of Staves or the Four of Wands upright. This is also about commitment. So we just saw the masculine's desire in the other spread to have this open relationship, or a relationship that's out in the open, and maybe this way. Speaking of that Gaia card, I didn't realize it's our overall energy. Should I use my Keepers of the Light Oracle? This is the last deck that I went and grabbed after I was already set up. Gaia, Earth connection. Be mindful of the planet. Come back to Earth and stay grounded. So I think this is important. And I'm being shown what I think might be Soul Flame. Nope, it's, better. It's Mary Magdalene. Teacher awakens. You have something important to share. Follow the inner call. Don't let anything stop you. Awesome. Surrounding the masculine. That Eight of Arrows, not being happy at home. Boom. It's the masculine. At least for now. Maybe the feminine too. But it's the masculine who's feeling trapped. You see that a lot of cases in his home environment, home situation, he's lacking peace where he rests his head, so to speak. And at the masculine subconscious, judgment. There may be a relationship with somebody, not necessarily romantic, but it could be. I mean, we could have any sort of living dynamic. And then they say like a house is not a home, so it's not necessarily with whom he's living that this is judgment, but with somebody or something coming to a place of a crossroad where we got to decide where are we going from here, if anywhere. Feminine, the Prince of Cups in reverse, Tristan, who has like a fan base among my viewers. Actually, a lot of people like seeing Tristan show up. I haven't used these cards in a while. Tristan is, of course, a Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer, and here he's, this Knight of Water, showing up with his baby though, but he's in reverse. Like he's unsettled, he's focusing very much, this is the feminine, we're focusing perhaps too much on about like beauty and stuff and the material and the earthly. We need to like be more open, receptive to beauty in all of its forms, and also to love. Some of us may be closed off to love with the Prince of Cups showing up in reverse, and need to get grounded again. It's like fantasy world, like very Piscean energy, overindulging in like fantasy world and like delusions. Like come back to earth. Feminine. Feminine is surrounded by the 9 of Staves in reverse. So that's our warrior spirit, our ability to continue to persevere, which I think I may have started out talking about. I know I spoke of in the general. This is our warrior spirit here in reverse. And in our subconscious, the Queen of Cups upright. Interesting, being rooted by the Queen of Cups upright, or at least this is on our subconscious. Maybe this is what we want to be, how we want to balance our emotions. We want them in check, but right now we're upside down and out of sorts. Because the Queen of Cups upright does, understand love and beauty in all its forms. She's very emotionally balanced and in check. She appreciates all of this. And I think that this could also have to do, for some of us with the feminine, this can have to do with like self-image, like dysmorphia, body dysmorphia, I think it's called, where you don't see yourself as beautiful enough or good enough from a vain perspective. And I'm still staying with being closed off in some respects to love too, and maybe they go hand in hand. Maybe like being closed off to love because we're feeling like I'm not good enough. I didn't lose the weight that I wanted to be able to fit into a bikini this summer. Now I'm too fat to go to the beach. He's not going to want me, especially if he's the dating queen and he's got all these other possibilities and options. That sort of thing can be going on with this Queen of Cups in this particular placement. Because I love seeing her, but she's here in the subconscious, as opposed to being here. I like her better here. I like her to switch places with Tristan. Anyway, crowning the union. Fortune in reverse. The wheel not in our favor at the moment. The union is rooted by the 2 of arrows. So this decision that has to take place is maybe what would cause fortune to flip over. You make the right choice for you. You pull an Abelard, right? That monk, that priest that chose love over, this job essentially that no longer fit him, right? He cut it off like the Queen of Swords would, Queen of Arrows, and went after the love. Maybe that's what this is saying here too. That's what we have. If we do that, then our fortune, we're in alignment with our fortune and with the universe, and it wants to bestow these things upon us. If we don't, then yeah, we're upside down. We're out of balance. We're out of alignment. We're not grounded. We're not rooted. Our chakras are blocked, like all of the above. Here at the heart of the matter. Speaking of Abelard, here he is in reverse. I can't make this kind of stuff up. All right, there's Abelard, the hermit. Okay, here's how he looks upright, and he was in reverse. In reverse again, to me, intuitively was saying that he had learned. We can never know everything about anything. He had learned, at least for the moment, all that he needed about himself and what he wanted in his life. So he was able to make a decision. And I think that is what the rest of us need to do, or the rest of us at least, to whom this spread applies. This fortune in reverse is also speaking to the disappointment. So here, and it sits atop the 3 of coins upright. 3 of coins upright is very similar. This is the love reading as it relates to love, to judgment. Upright, and it's about, again, that crossroads and the need to decide like what we're doing. underneath that is 0, the fool. So the desire to take a leap of faith. This is on what we're deciding. Am I strong enough to make a move? I desire to move on with the Eight of Cups and seek something and someone more meaningful in life, the true gem. But like basically, do I have what it takes? Fortune doesn't seem to be on my side, doesn't seem to be shining on me. I'm just disappointed all, wherever, every turn. Like when is it, speaking of turns, when is it going to be mine? When is it going to be my turn? Is what is coming through here. When is it going to be my opportunity to get unstuck from this negative situation in which I don't want to be? Because what I'm thinking about is resolving another situation in my life. I'm at a cross, but that's what I would like to do. I'd like this Four of Wands to mean peace and contentment for me, but I feel like I can't achieve it. Like it's never my turn. I don't have the ability, the strength to keep going anymore. I've lost the ability to persevere toward this. I just feel like I'm not good enough. I don't even look good enough, is what this spread is saying. Let's see if the romance angels now can add anything more to it for us. Beginning with soulmate. Yes, this is your soulmate. And opening to passion. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. Because we don't lack this, right? We don't lack the love. That was evident in the general reading too. The Two of Water, the Two of Fire, the Twin Flame card. Like, we got love in abundance. But it's like, what do we do with it? That's a song too. Originally made by this reggae band called Third World. I remember seeing them at a concert at this park, I think in Brooklyn, maybe Wingate, I don't know. I don't remember anymore, but I was little. I was very little. I don't even know how to remember this, but we saw this concert, they performed this song. Now that we've found love, what are we going to do with it? Like, that's the question. Where do we move? Where do we go from here now? Passion. Keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. Passion, which is basically telling us to follow our heart, right? Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. Whatever makes it do that, that's the decision. That's the choice you gotta make. Getting to know each other for some. Let's do that communication thing. Let's talk. Because even those of us who have been, going to go together, even if it's back and forth, on again and off again, for a amount of time, we don't even know each other. I mean, some people say you can never, truly and completely know anyone. So there's always room to get to know each other. And as you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. Passion. Let me go one more. Release your ex. You feeling bound to something? You feel like you don't have the strength anymore? You're not good enough? Did somebody make you feel like that? A past relationship, karma? Like we saw in the other spread? You're feeling trapped, living with somebody, whether it's romantic or it's a parent or it's a child, but you just feel stuck. I think for the most part it's romantic. Whatever the case is, the time has come to clear your energy. The universe keeps guiding us to work on energy healing. However, we need to do that in our individual lives. Passion and worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. And speaking of energy healing, I didn't mention it here. I did mention it in the general. That is a service that I provide, and I'm not one to try to sell myself or sell things. Most people don't even know how to get a reading from me. They have to ask each and every time somebody wants one, because I don't put that kind of stuff out. But with this healing, the results, first of all, the response to it, to the fact that I was offering it and people began to know about it, was tremendous. And then the results have been even more tremendous. They've been absolutely phenomenal. People who physically had been unable to do certain things, like one of my clients, She was unable to, she lacked the energy to even go to yoga. I told her she was vitamin D deficient. I told her she was vitamin B12 deficient. I told her she needed folic acid. I told her she needed magnesium. Turns out, I told her that she had some sort of feminine, as they say, medical issue. Turned out all of that was true. She had been to a doctor, and I told her what the angels told me to tell her in order to heal it. And immediately, she felt 10 times better that her sister wanted the cleanse that I provide also, as well as one of the other healing services. I had one yesterday. I posted it on my Facebook. I did the cleanse, and now the client, all of a sudden having very clear prophetic dreams, knows what her past life was with her divine masculine, knows what she needs to do to move forward, credits the cleanse with this because she had previously been blocked. Another one contacted me in the morning, also yesterday, that she had, prophetic dreams of her and her divine masculine, remembered it vividly. She was at an address, 111 Trinity, or I think it was called 111 Trinity Street or something, in this dream, and, what went on between her and her divine masculine. She had been blocked. All of a sudden, that was open. People that hadn't been getting any sleep. One slept 10 hours, one slept 15 hours. One, the day that I did it, she woke up the next morning after one of these long sleeps that she hadn't had in forever, and the divine masculine contacted her to tell her he wanted to make love to her. Being very, very romantic. So it's been phenomenal. I am so absolutely grateful to God because he told me exactly how to do it and exactly how to describe it. I was like typing up this thing, questions and answers, frequently asked questions and stuff like that, as to how I was going to be able to present this to the world. He gave me the words. He gave me the ability. To God be the glory. I can help you if you're unable to help yourself. If you're Chiron, the wounded healer, and you can, heal other people with whatever it is you do, but you can't heal yourself, you can't heal your own energy, I can help you. You can check my website, Queenofswords, thelightworker.com. Okay, passion. One more. Speaking of healing family issues, which came through very strongly in the general reading also. And I said I was done. I wasn't going to do anymore, but I guess we were meant to stay on this conversation about healing. As a matter of fact, the heart of the matter in the general was some serious issues connected to healing. So those of you some of you may want to tune into that if you have not watched it yet. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. And there was also some specific stuff to parents that came through in that reading as well, with regard to the healing. Passion. I'm going to cut now, finally. Religious factors. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. Well, if a priest can change his spiritual path and upbringing in order to go after his love life, I think any of us can. Wow, you guys are not going to believe this. The overall energy is, yet again, soulmate. I started with soulmate, we're back on soulmate. Yes, this is your soulmate. About Krispy Kreme donuts. I don't know why. That's so random. I don't know what that's about. Maybe a connection will pop up somehow. So here, atop the Four of Wands, is chemistry. There's a strong magnetic attraction here. The home is where the heart is. And where the heart is with this person to whom we are drawn and we can't fight. This is sexual energy too, very much like that temptation is what I'm feeling. Here atop the Eight of Arrows, heart-to-heart conversations. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other. That can be to someone with someone to whom you feel bound, and or your partner. You can explain, I'm in this situation. I feel stuck. I feel like I can't, in this relationship, circumstance, whatever it is. So that's something to talk about with the feminine. On this side, listen, I gotta tell you, my heart is not here. My mind isn't here. My peace, my home, and my heart are somewhere else. And it's too strong for me to fight. The chemistry is like this. So we gotta, I need to Queenofswords you in this situation. So that's a heart-to-heart conversation that has to be had on that side too. Here in the masculine subconscious, a top judgment. And where do we go from here? We're either going to repair or we're going to walk away. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents, but not just your parents. And again, for some of us, this is indeed our parents with whom we have this issue, overlying issue. But not just your parents. Anybody who has been so, or who remains so impactful upon your life that they prevent you, stifle you from feeling as if you are able to live and or love how you see fit, is with whom you need to heal a relationship. And you can heal it by repairing it, or you can heal it by walking away. Have the heart-to-heart conversation that is appropriate for you. Make the decision that is appropriate to you, that follows your heart, like in Abelard. Feminine. Here atop the Prince of Cups is engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. So, like behind the scenes, our love is ascending. We gotta keep up with it. We gotta get aligned, like with ourselves and with our own existence, with our own situation that's happening. And to do that, we gotta be open again to that love, and to seeing love in all the places that it exists for us, and to seeing beauty the same way in all of its forms, all of its glory. We are surrounded by, here atop the Nine of Staves, express your love. So maybe where we don't have the opportunity or the will we feel to continue to persevere, the universe guides us too. And maybe we're feeling like I can't even like reach out or talk or whatever. The universe saying, yes, you can. Express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. And that is what the Nine of Wands, tends to mean. It means like keep pushing, keep going, even when you feel that you're like out of steam. The universe telling us we're not out of steam. We have that little bit of like gumption left within us, enough to express our love and be the Knight of Wands. the Knight of Wands or the Knight of Water. It's for us to be Tristan, the Knight of Cups here, and express the love. Maybe we're to approach the divine masculine in some cases. Here in our subconscious, atop the Queen of Cups that was upright, also flirt. Extend your lighthearted energy to others. Be a Pisces, right? Pisces, of the waters, of the water element, the most youthful and or immature considered zodiac. That's the one who would be, the most lighthearted and silly and flirty. Be a Pisces this week. Here, atop Fortune, in reverse, it's unrequited love. That's why you have to get rid of these situations that are blocking you. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep those relationships going. The chemistry is here, right? Home is where the heart is. And where it is not, it's misfortune. That's what you got. There's a song like that too. It's either by Teddy Pendergrass or it's by Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, a group of which Teddy Pendergrass used to be a member. Bad luck, that's what you got, that's what you got. That's what this is. I'm going to try to remember to put these songs underneath the reading. Here, atop the Two of Arrows, what do we have to decide upon? The same thing that was evident we needed to decide upon in the first spread, past life relationship. You've known each other before. There's a past life issue here. There's a karma-related, a karmic issue here. And maybe two karmic partners or something between whom we need to decide. With one, the contract is over, and with the other, it's not. And, but you can prolong these things based on your decision. All of this is up to, that's where our free will comes in. Here at the heart of the matter, atop Abelard in reverse, or the Hermit in reverse, romantic feelings. I told you, he already went inside. He already looked in his heart and saw what he wanted to do. And he had to come to terms with the fact that he was having actual romantic feelings. Damn being a priest. Basically, your feelings are real and worth exploring. Isis wants to be seen. She did this last week too. The Lover's Path Tarot. Isis jumped out of the deck with Osiris in the love card, or the lovers. Here she wants to be seen alone. Magic manifesting. Your dreams, visions, and goals are becoming reality. So stay focused, basically, is what Mother shows up to say. Who's with her? Lady Portia, everything is in divine order, is what she says. Do what you feel is right. There's an important lesson unfolding here. Yeah, about following your own heart and the abundance to which it leads, says Lord Ganesh. Infinite abundance. Obstacles are being removed. There's spiritual support and connections that are increasing for you. But beyond that, I'm beginning with Gaia again, an earth connection. Be mindful of this planet. Come back to earth. Stay grounded. Open it to Hilarion. Divine healing. Honor your sensitivity. Retreat to recharge and heal. Your light can support others. Gaia. And Serapis Bay. Ascension. Move into true self. Rise above the darkness. The light is here and within. Gaia, I'll go one more. And it's Joan of Arc, the voice of truth. Come on. Stand strong. Focus on your purpose and release the fear of persecution. Just speak your truth. The Ascended Master is really coming through this week. Gaia back. I'm going to cut. Spiritual changes are unfolding. This is your chance to soar. All you got to do is face your fear. Express your love for me. Acknowledge your own beauty. Inner, outer, what's surrounding you. Masculine, face your fear. Tell this person to, what they got to do. Cut them off. Basically, regardless of who they are. Or at least to the extent, like the relationship with them has to change. You're afraid to, Queen of Swords, if Gemini it, Scorpio, right? It's got to transform. You don't have to leave, but you got to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here, basically. That is the type of sentiment. No wonder Triangle was in reverse in the hashtag Creepy Deck. And our overall energy here is charity, prayer, and contemplation. I think this card is actually called Contemplation, not the Hermit. Yep. So this is what it's about. Introspection, going within. Charity shows up to reinforce that message. Connect with heaven. Ask and you shall receive. In the general reading, card came through to say the answer to your question involves a twin flame relationship. With my 20 Carmine Salerno Universal Love Oracle cards, I'm going to begin with the Trilogy of Light and opening to Eternal Flame. Trilogy of Light back. Sacred Union. Trilogy of Light. And Retreat. This is about that getting grounded too. Spending some time in introspection if you need to as well. Contemplation. Trilogy of Light and earth connection. Get rooted, get grounded, come back to earth, spend some time outside, do your meditation outdoors if you live in an area that's at all conducive to that, and get reconnected to Gaia. Golden path, follow the Elliott road. We're on track, but there may be some mishaps and things that come up along the way, like those little monkeys or witches, that try to ruin it for us and throw us off path, or prevent us from getting home to where our heart is. But we can fight all these things because the power is within us, right? At the end, all Dorothy had to do was click her heels together. And actually, getting back to songs, I heard a song today, and it totally made me think of the divine masculine in relation to what he's going through, what he's been feeling is like not measuring up and enough, and being focused on money and worrying about money. First of all, after I left Central Park, driving home, I just was listening to the most wonderful station on the radio, 103.9 FM here in New York, and they were playing like all the most awesome love songs and everything. And one of the songs that they stuck in sort of randomly, where they went back to do this sort of like the best of Brooklyn type of mix, all the people who made Brooklyn famous, was Dana Dane, this song called Cinderfella. So I don't know if Dana Dane is like a rapper from like the 80s, late 80s, I guess. He came out with like Slick Rick. He had the song called Cinderfella, and he tells the story in the song of Cinderella, but from the perspective of the masculine. So the fact that the feminine showed up at his door with the shoes, and he had to fit into the shoes. His brothers had been trying to keep him down, sort of like something else I talked about this week in the general Joseph of Egypt, and how his brothers tried to sell him into slavery, but he was really like the good son, the prize son, like Cinderella, or in this case Cinderfella. So feminine shows up at his door with this shoe. He tries it on, of course, he fits right away. His fairy godmother, turns him back into a Prince Charming, and he's wearing a silk suit and a Kango. If I can find that song to include a link to that one, I will too. But my point was, like, the power is within us, and like all Cinderella had to do was fit her foot back into her slipper, and all Dorothy had to do was click her own heels together. Like, it didn't matter about the wizard. In fact, she was more powerful than the wizard. It didn't matter about the witches, that were after her, or anything else that was after her. She was able to defeat it all by staying on path. So the overall energy is retreat, but they wanted me to see that love was behind it too. So I did notice that. Okay, let's see what we got for advice this week. From the Tony Carmine Salerno Universal Love Oracle to the masculine spiritual growth, which I think is very, very evident by what's been going on here. We've been talking about the need to look within and look to the universe, make your decisions by then. That's going to help to elevate you. In the meantime, relationships also continue to elevate around you. Feminine reflection. This is the need for us to put some things into perspective too. And we're sitting here next to this hermit in reverse also. So it's not only the masculine that needs to go within, we do too. We need to find that inner beauty and that inner strength and that inner love, and open it up and make sure that all these things can flow, in both directions, flow both ways. From the Keepers of the Light Oracle to the masculine, facing fear. Major spiritual changes are unfolding, masculine. This is your chance to soar. And we're all rooting for you. I certainly am. Totally makes sense though, this triangle in reverse before. Feminine. Wow. When I say wow, because this turned up for the feminine in the general as well, in a different way, but it turned up for the feminine. dark male. So for those of you who are the dark male, this is your week. This is your week to shine. For others of you, there may be a dark male that is impactful upon your life this week, the same way one was shown to be, that is going to be impactful upon the couple and the union as a whole as well. That could certainly be you. You could make an impact on your own union this week if you are the dark male. Wow, look what's back for the feminine. It's the true love. So definitely we're not to forget about this. We're to open ourselves up to it. From the Lover's Path Tarot, the 7 of Arrows upright. Now, yes, 7 of Arrows is often the energy of joy stealing. But it's also like stealing away, breaking away, cutting away. Again, using that Queen of Swords that showed up before to cut away what no longer serves you. You steal away. You escape. Like last week I posted, I just stole away to the nail salon. My daughters, aren't home, and I snuck over here to get my nails done. That you're going to steal away too to get your whole life as well. Masculine and possibly specifically dark male. Feminine. The King of Staves in reverse. This is just more evidence of us not feeling like not feeling empowered, not feeling passionate, not feeling, very divine at all. I gotta think about this one a little bit. We move on to the romance advice for the romance angels. The masculine, very soon. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. And woe 10 is bothering me. I mean, he can be here in reverse because it's the similar feeling to the 9 of Staves in reverse. Just not feeling empowered, not like wanting to do something and just not feeling as if you have the strength or the will to actually do it. I'm also thinking, though, however, for some of us, this can be a stumbling block in the form of a person to us, especially with Mars again in Leo. I'm glad this came back to me. This can be, an aggressive, controlling person in our lives too that tries to break us off a path, take us off a path. And Aries, Leo, Sagittarius can be that Lilith in Sagittarius, can be that Mars in Leo, can be something was going on with Aries too. I don't remember what it was. But Aries is also always a potentially aggressive energy anyway. So that can be something that's going on to an actual person by one of those signs or taking on those attributes. But otherwise, I think it just basically supports the energy of the 9 of Wands in reverse, which is our lack of warrior spirit right now. We're just like defeated, and so we got to work on that, healing that. And lastly, from the romance angels, feminine, honeymoon. Enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. Well, again, with the new moon coming the day after the end of this reading, and sort of like mixing into the end of the week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we can be feeling the energy of the moon. I think some of us may have something to look forward in the areas of love, maybe even enjoying the bliss of that holiday time together. I hope that you guys enjoyed the love reading. I was about to say the long reading because it went so much longer than I had planned and anticipated. I thought the love reading was going to be like a half hour because as opposed to the general, I didn't have anything to talk about other than the cards. But I guess we had something to talk about. We had a lot to talk about. I hope you enjoyed it. Namaste, angels.